We are on Masechet Parah, Parah Gimel Mishnah Aleph. Third chapter, first Mishnah. Now, the third chapter, Parah Gimel, deals with, it describes the process of the offering and the burning of the Parah Adumah, the preparation of the ashes of the Parah Adumah, how it had to be prepared. So in order to understand this, we have to kind of go into it from the perspective of the Chumash, okay? So what do? You take this Parah Adumah, you take it out of the machane, and you slaughter it before him, okay? And then you take the blood. We're going to get this much later. But we take this blood. Remember, he's outside the camp. He shall sprinkle. He sprinkles towards the oil moed, toward the Beit Hamikdash 7 times. Then you burn the whole thing. Okay? You take a cedar stick, and a hyssop, ushni tolat, and a band of red dyed wool, and you send it into the ashes of the parah. And then you add water, I guess. We'll see as we go along. That's the basic process of preparing the ashes. But our Mishnah is going to describe the unbelievable lengths that they went to in order to make sure that this preparation was prepared as tahor as it possibly could be, that it was totally tahor, that nobody could make it tameh. Why? So now this is really hard. It's almost difficult to imagine. But they would do this because at some point they would intentionally add tumah into the process. Why? I have to read you this Bar Tanura. The Bar Tanura says, okay, they were very, very, very careful, extremely careful, okay, because, okay, they would use, let's say, for example, we're going to see there's this place we're going to see that they would go to, they would keep the Kohen Gadol separate, okay, and they would do all of these things. They would use very specific kelim. Mishum detvul yom kasher b'parah. They held that a person who's a tvul yom, who became tamei, a rishon l'tumah, and then went to the mikvah, or maybe rishon l'tumah, maybe not, went to the mikvah that day, he didn't have to have harav shemesh. He didn't have to wait till the night. He could even be a tvul yom. That's what was called a tvul yom. They would make the Kohen who burned the parah, they would make him tamei, umatbilino tomiyat, and they would then take him to the mikvah, and then say, okay, do your job. Lahotzi milibam shel tzedokim. This was all about a fight between the Prushim and the Tzedukim. And the Tzedukim said, Sheomrim b'moravei shemesh haitan. The Tzedukim said, no, you have to be herav shemesh. You have to wait till the night if the Kohen became tamei. And they're like, oh yeah? No, you don't, and we'll even do it. And therefore, takinu la rabbanan ma'alo yiterot kedei shelo yizal zeluba. So, and because they said, Tzukim say harav shemesh. No, we say even tvul yom. So we'll do it at tvul yom, but then everything else has to be unbelievably tahor, as we'll see in the Mishnah. It's very, very interesting. And there's so much there. There's so much in this Tzuki Prushi process. You'll see even in the Mishnah itself. Shivat Yamim. Kodem l'shreifat parah. 7 days before the burning of the Parah Adumah, mafrishin Kohen asaref et parah mi beito. They would take the Kohen who is the soref, the burner of the Parah Adumah. They would separate him from his house, lilishka shel pnei bira, okay, to an office on the face of the bira. The bira is another word for the Beit Hamikdash. So you have to have miluim. You take him out, and they say, we have this for the Kohen of the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur, and then we also do it for this Kohen. Okay, then they learned it from the Psukim. So they take him to this office, al pnei bira. That's in the bira is another word for the Beit Hamikdash. That's according to most explanations, right? And it was where was it? Tzfona Mizrachi. It was in the northeast of the northeast wall corner of the Beit Hamikdash. Ubeit Even Haitani Kreit, and it was called Beit Even. Why is it called Beit Even? So this we sort of alluded to before. Some say bira is Har Habayit, and some say it's the whole Beit Hamikdash. Anyway, so why is it called Beit Even? If you should call Maaseh Ayu Biklei Galalim, Klei Avanim, Klei Adama. There are 3 kinds of kelim that cannot become Mekabel Tumah. This is Kli Cheres, as we've seen before. It can't be Mekabel Tumah. Any Kli, glass, Cheres, got a lot of cups around here. They're all Mekabel Tumah, except kelim that are made of Galalim, galalim are excrement from animals. Avanim, made of stone, or klei adamah, kelim made of dirt, right? And those kelim, they're not considered permanent. They were like chad pa'ami, they were like disposable, and they're not mekabel tuma. I have to show you a cool artifact that I have. Anyway, and so that was called Beit Even, because in the Beit Even, those are the only kelim, those are the only vessels they would use, and that's where they would keep him. And therefore, umazin alav kol shivat hayamim mikol chataot shayu sham. So they would sprinkle him all 7 days. They had different Parah Adumah, different parot that were done over the years. Bartanura says, "Mikol parot shasum yemot Moshe Rabbeinu arot ozman." They would say, "Shekol parah parah." You don't need kitzat lemishmeret. Every time in Jewish history, they did a Parah Adumah. They would put a little bit in a little Tupperware mishmeret. They would save it. Okay, v'yom rishon mazin alav me'efer parachan. Every day they would sprinkle him. He says, not every day, but every 7 days. Kol shivat hayim hayu mikol chatot sheyusham. The first day, the first one the Bartanura says. The second one, the second day, etc., etc. Now the Bartanura also explains they wouldn't sprinkle him all 7 days. The Bartanura explains also they would sprinkle him only. They wouldn't sprinkle him on the 4th day. Why? Here he says, Revi'i lo ba'i hazai. It doesn't mean they would do it every 7 days, but they would do it all 7 days because they were afraid maybe he became tameh on an earlier day. When you become, you sprinkle on the 1st day and on the 7th day. Let's take a look at a nice calendar. Here's a nice website with a calendar. So let's say he starts on Sunday. So if you start sprinkling him on Sunday, normally the hazai is on the 3rd day and the 7th day. That means you assume that he became tameh on Thursday. 1, 2, 3, sprinkle him here. And then the 7th day would be 4, 5, 6, 7. And you sprinkle him, so then you start doing this day. That would mean that this is the 1st day, and the 7th day is here. And if you sprinkle him here, that would mean this is the 1st day, and this is the 7th day. So the Bartanura explains there's no reason to sprinkle him on Wednesday. It didn't matter. It would never be the 3rd. It would never be the 3rd or 7th day unless you go back all the way here, and then it would be only the 7th day, and you miss the 3rd day. You kind of get the point. If you don't get the point, look it up. Anyway, Rabbi Yossi says, no, lo hayu mazin alav ela b'shlishi ubashvi'i bilvad. Rabbi Yossi says, no, it's a little much. They would only sprinkle them on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, right? And they didn't do it every day. Rabbi Chanina Sgana Kohanim Omer says, Rabbi Chanina Sgana Kohanim, al Kohen asarev et hapara mazin kol shivat yamim. Yeah, on the Kohen that did the Seifat HaParah, they would sprinkle all 7 days. V'al shal Yom HaKippurim. Remember we said that there's a connection between the Kohen and the Kohen Gadol on Yom Kippur, and the Kohen do the sprinkling. V'al shal Yom HaKippurim lo ayu mazin alav ela b'shlishi ubashvi'i bilvad. So B'chanina says no. So the Tanna Kama says both of them they would sprinkle all 7 days. Rabbi Yossi says both of them they would sprinkle only for third and the 7th day. And Rabbi Chanina says no, it depends. The Kohen Asarev, Parah Adumah, or every day. And the Kohen Gadol, they would only do the 3rd and the 7th day. All right, went a little bit over. Sorry for the long Mishnah, but it's really interesting and I need this introduction. We'll stop here, dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Comments, questions, I always love hearing from you. Email, WhatsApp, all that stuff. Make it a great day.